Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Happy and Focus taking place here on Last Refuge. We are going to be, casting this game here, and I heard you guys don't like my, what is it, ASMR? Or whatever that whisper cast was last time around. Although it did kind of save my voice. As we'll see what's going to be happening here in this 1v1 matchup, Orc versus Undead. I've been able to find a good number of, BattleNet or NetEase replays. Not any official tournament ones, as well. I'm not officially sponsoring or sponsored by anyone really, so hats off to everyone who is watching these particular games. Thanks to everyone if you are supporting me on Patreon or supporting me on YouTube through PayPal, through your monthly donations. That does definitely help. It does take a little bit of time to make these videos. Not too much any longer, as I am not dumping hours and hours into them any longer, and well, it helps pay for my internet that allows me to upload these videos slightly faster and play games a little bit with a little bit less lag. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in this 1v1. We do see an early Voodoo Lounge being placed down as the Blade Master is getting ready. We'll see whether or not another Orc Burrow will be placed down as well. I'm assuming that we are not going to see a second Orc Burrow until we see the tech to tier 2. Meanwhile, back across over here, an Acolyte wandering back and forth, making sure that the Blade Master doesn't try to do any shenanigans on that one Ogre Magi there. Meanwhile, what is happening as the Blade Master should be popping out here in the next 7 seconds or so. Death Knight opening up with Ghouls this time around as opposed to Crypt Fiends, hence the faster train time there. Now, it looks as though the Graveyard may just be a little bit delayed, and we'll see what the Death Knight will be doing. Meanwhile, Blade Master are going to be pulling back, going after the Ogre Warrior at this 3-3-3 creep camp, taking it down very quickly, picking up, hopefully, for the Blade Master's sake, either a Gloves of Haste or Claws of Attack +6. It is the former rather than the latter, as a Scroll of Town Portal has been sold to, pick up more items. The Blade Master is simply just going to run on by here. What is he going to be doing next? Meanwhile, the Death Knight wandering down across here, hoping to finish off this Ogre Warrior. The Death Knight did, in fact, have a Death Coil use already. There's a Death Coil finish. Skeletal Minions will now be joining in on the fight. And now, with only 2 Ghouls in play, we see a tech to tier 2 or 3 Ghouls. We should start seeing those Crypt Fiends being added. That early strategy of using Skeletal Minions to try and clear out the creep camps is relatively helpful, as it allows you to try and tech to tier 2 faster and get all of the necessary lumber at tier 2. You can see, there you go, there goes another Forest Troll Trapper. It will get taken down, but the Blade Master has a slight advantage here, as we are going to be seeing them now going after each other once more. All right, low hit point Skeletal Minion is purposely trying to stay in that backfield there. The Blade Master could easily get to level 2. And will it go ahead and try and chase it down? No, the timed life does come to an end, as we should be looking at Crypt Fiends now. More Skeletal Minions are being added. Ziggurat is also being placed down here. This will allow, not allow the Blade Master to try and do any serious creeping. All right, meanwhile, the Blade Master is off over here. There is a Sentry Ward, and was it placed down? Yes, by the Blade Master. He will be able to keep watch of that one particular creep camp for a very long time, as more Skeletal Minions are being added. They should be able to attack and spot up onto the high ground right here. There is that Crypt Fiend. It is going to try and engage. There's the Dust of Appearance. It quickly spots that Sentry Ward. Sentry Ward will get taken down. Very, very, responsive. Well, come on, just finish that right there. I believe that was a miss. Very responsive to know that the Blade Master did, in fact, place down a Sentry Ward and that it needed to get cleaned up. Death Knight now wandering about. Meanwhile, the Blade Master already has a Potion of Greater Healing, now going after this 4-3-2 creep camp. Troll High Priest will get taken out very fast. Meanwhile, the 3-3-3 creep camp here should fall very quickly at the hands of the Crypt Fiends and these Skeletal Minions. Even though some of them are dying to timed life, it is still working out fairly well, as we do see level 2 now on the Death Knight. Death Knight did get a new Rod of Necromancy in order to continue all of his effective creeping here. Very high damage, essentially turning your gold into a little bit of speed, allowing you to get to level 2, maybe even level 3 faster, as the Blade Master is still wandering about. All right, Let's take a look. What is going to be happening here? Blade Master going to go ahead and engage. There is a purge. Blade Master now going after the Death Knight. Death Knight is in trouble. And that purge onto the Death Knight. Yeah, the Death Knight was in fact purged. And now you see the Blade Master purge, causing them to slow down a bit. Blade Master now going after the Crypt Fiend, and it will be doing a bit of a strong chase, but it's not really going to be putting any heavy pressure unless it goes after the lower hit point units. Death Knight still has plenty for a Death Coil. So I'm wondering what Focus's long-term real strategy is here. He cannot assume that he's going to be able to take down any units. He doesn't want to use a potion of healing either, and he may be forced to perhaps use Wind Walk here in just a moment and then Healing Salve to back out. Meanwhile, you see that the grunts were actually trying to go after some of those creep camps, giving that Blade Master nearly level 3, as you see some Healing Salves now go down onto those grunts once more. There's the Dust of Appearance. The Blade Master is nearby. There's the quick Hex. Beautiful, beautiful positioning. Will that Death Knight get taken down? Potion of Healing used in time. The Blade Master down to 498 would have been taken out. Beautiful use right there, but the Potion of Greater Healing and the Scroll of Town Portal were the casualties in that scrimmage. All right, down goes the Null Overseer there. Blade Master sitting at level 3. It is going to begin its quest to just be a very, very annoying harasser. Meanwhile, the Shadow Hunter will most likely be trying to creep out by himself. Death Knight is right there. There is a quick Hex onto that. That Blade Master could get taken down. Yes, it does. Oh, excuse me, the Death Knight gets taken down by the Blade Master. And that was a big, big loss right there. All right, Skeletal Minions trying to catch up all the units. There goes the Shadow Hunter trying to run every which way. He does have the Speed Scroll. Now it's hanging up onto the high ground and healing up onto the high ground right here, as well there is no real place that the Undead army can travel to. The Shadow Hunter doing a good job staying alive, getting back up into the 220 hit point range. Meanwhile, the Lich is in serious trouble as it could get taken down, leaving 0 heroes left for the Undead army. Save for some sort of miracle right now, I cannot see how Focus could lose this game. He has a commanding lead. He is going to have about an additional 45 seconds before his opponent can even begin to do anything with that hero. Perhaps a minute before it starts creeping. And the Blade Master and Shadow Hunter perhaps could get to level 3 on the Shadow Hunter and maybe even level 4 on that Blade Master. Shadow Hunter trying to finish all of these things off right here. Blade Master, well, does have a tiny Great Hall, could attempt to clear out this 5-3-3 creep camp. And he is trying to take a further lead by throwing down an expansion, something that is rather difficult for an Undead army to normally do. All right, Peons now making their way over. You can see the Blade Master going after these units here. Gloves of Haste, Critical Strike, Ogre Magi about to get taken down. There it goes, Claws of Attack +6, just what the doctor ordered. As now the Shadow Hunter is going to follow things up and add even more healing and longevity to the life of that Blade Master. All right, Healing Salve is right there. We could see a Potion of Greater Healing transferred to that Blade Master. If it isn't, I would actually be surprised, as the Great Hall is already in play, taking a commanding economic advantage before the 9-minute mark. Shadow Hunter is at level 3. Blade Master perhaps going to be picking up some clarity potions in addition to some healing salves, trying to ready himself for the upcoming fight. All right, Forest Troll High Priest is going to get focused down here. You see some healing waves going around. That Rock Golem does deal a lot of damage to those raiders, since those raiders have that medium armor. Rock Golem about to get taken out here. Meanwhile, the Blade Master ready to engage, does have Clarity Potion and a Healing Salve on the Blade Master with Wind Walk, allowing him to move around the map fairly freely. And we also see a tech to tier 3 with the Tauren Chieftain. This has been a much more common strategy as of late, going up against Undead Orc Tri-Hero, as the Tauren Chieftain with Stomp can reveal Crypt Fiends, and also with Endurance Aura counteracts some of the slow that is naturally there because of Frost Armor. The Tauren Chieftain being a high hit point hero also makes him not nearly as vulnerable and susceptible to any sort of hero nuke that the Death Knight may try and launch with Death Coil and Frost Nova. Lich has now joined in on the fight again here for the creeping Undead. but this is not going to turn out well, I do not believe. Belt of Giant Strength also going onto the Lich just to add an additional 150 hit points. As the Blade Master, with a combination of items, perhaps the Ring of Protection being the weakest link there. Tauren Chieftain wants to get to level 2. Should be able to do that right here, right now, after the death of this Ogre Mauler. Picks up a useful Mana Stone, as the Forest Troll High Priest will get taken out. Now, overall supply count, total resources, no surprise there. Yes, the Orc definitely with the lead. Meanwhile, population count 39 to 58. I cannot imagine what is going to be happening here. How exactly can Happy really come back in this game against Focus? I'm not sure, as the advantage is just far too much. It looks like Focus was able to do a good job maintaining and getting a strong economic advantage, and now he's making his opponent force a fight. His opponent knows that I cannot let this expansion go on for a very long time. Continuing this fight once more. Tauren Chieftain going after all of those units. Healing Wave bouncing around. Vampiric Aura onto the Shadow Hunter, as a Death Coil does go down, but doesn't do very much. Dark Ranger still in the fight right here. A couple of ensnares now going in, and that looked like, well, it was an illusion. So a couple of illusionary Crypt Fiends, making it difficult to figure out whose are the real ones. Banshees also with a lot of missing, causing a lot of problems here, but the Lich is still sitting at level 1, nowhere near level 2, and the Dark Ranger has not even gotten a single point of experience yet. Death Knight is trapped up against a corner, and that is going to be it. An absolutely brutal slaying at the hands of Focus. Happy unable to recover after that early loss of the Death Knight with that Hex. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.